Hi everyone. I wanted to make this quick video because tomorrow I'm gonna forget what I felt today. But there are some of these moments that really you realize we're all living in our own reality, in our own little bubble. And I think especially people with some kind of neurological differentiation, like strabismus, we don't realize, but there are these moments that we interact with other people that we realize, oh, they don't see or they don't feel the world as we feel it maybe. And so tonight I was making the lunch boxes for the kids, and I was adding another box for the cookies, and somehow I couldn't find the second one for Louis. And then my wife was, it's in my, because I was getting annoyed and I like the routine, and if I can't find it, it's hard for me to look for things and I get exhausted, especially at the end of the day. And she's like, yeah, it's in my backpack, I used it today, but you can just use another one. You can be a little bit flexible. And then she already knows me, so she knows I'm not that flexible anyway. But then from a recent video, I got a comment from some of you that said, like, I'm also not flexible. I need like a fixed routine to keep my vision results kind of stable. And then I learned from using Vivid Vision, the time of day when I use it, it's very important. And the morning is much better than the evening or the night or the afternoon. So I'm just telling her, like, by the end of the day, the reason why I'm not flexible, or when I'm not flexible, like at all, I think I'm still relatively flexible, but I'm not as flexible as most people. So the reason why I'm not flexible is because my vision declines throughout the day. My vision is not stable. So because this very important bodily function is not stable, I need my schedule to be kind of regular and my environment to be kind of stable. And then she said, oh, but this morning I took the kids out for 3 hours, so you were able to rest. So why isn't your vision a little bit better than today? Like, why are you not rested? And then I'm like, well, she didn't mean anything by it, but then I realized, well, yeah, she really doesn't know what it's like, because just a 3-hour rest on the scale of this vision disability is almost nothing, right? So even if I had a little bit more rest, still my vision will decline throughout the day, right? It's not because she took the kids for 3 hours that for the rest of the day my vision will stay fine or stable or whatever. But of course, she didn't mean at all to offend me, and it's very nice she took out the kids, so I got a little bit more rest. But then I realized, they, like normal people, really don't realize what the struggle is like. Basically, to feel visually rested, it would take like a couple of days, maybe even a week or something, to fully get visually rested. And then I told her, like, even if I would sleep 12 hours a day, still my vision would decline throughout the day, right? Because it takes a lot of rest to recharge, but then it takes half an hour, 1 hour to do visually intensive activities like vision therapy or reading on a computer or whatever it is, to almost deplete the batteries or the visual batteries to get tired eyes again. So it's almost impossible to get fully rested when you're doing what we're doing, like raising kids and trying to get some things done, right? And the best way for me, for example, to rest is to watch movies or something, because then you just stare right ahead and just listen, and you don't need to move your body around, and you're just kind of chilling. But that I don't get to do almost ever anymore, but I used to do that a lot when I was a student, for example. That used to be my preferred way of resting my eyes. So you're still kind of mentally stimulated, but your eyes can rest, which is great. But with reading, for example, you're mentally stimulated, but your eyes need to move all the time, and you have to make accurate saccades, and then you get maybe double vision and you get annoyed, and it's actually a much more active activity, right? especially visually. But so anyway, so the way that she made this remark, then I realized, oh, she doesn't know what it's like to be constantly on edge and like at the edge of your capability, and to set out your daily routine in a way that if something is added to it, then already you're overloaded. And even though I have a lot of freedom when it comes to my own routine, still I like to be as productive as possible. So I charge it like I try to optimize between resting and doing vision therapy and doing productive activities. But I have this personality quirk that, yeah, I'd still like to be engaged and contribute in some way. So to feel mentally happy, also I try to do other things than just rest and vision therapy, whether it is for my family or for my strabismus work. But so either way, even if nobody tells me, I will try to do as much as possible. So if then things are unexpectedly happening and getting more difficult, sometimes it freaks me out. So that's why I'm perceived maybe as not flexible. But then usually I kind of, then I will readjust, and I try to build in enough slack in my routine also that if unexpected things happen, I can push forward other things I was planning to do. But then if you have a normal job or whatever, that's not possible, right? But so either way, so most people really, they don't really feel this constant visual limitation and are not constantly operating on the edge, that they're basically never rested visually. Because she can, like if it's necessary, she can keep going on little sleep and her vision will keep working, and her vision doesn't really significantly deteriorate throughout the day. So if that would be the case for me, all the rest of my body apart from my eyes is also mostly ready to go. I'm fairly fit and all these things. So probably I wouldn't understand, right? But that's not to say so even though she doesn't live my reality, and I really, at times like this, you really notice, they really live in a different world, in a different reality. But that doesn't mean she's not tolerant or not trying to understand, because when I explain, she's not dismissing it or whatever. She's just like, okay, and kind of just absorbing the information, even though it touches this very sensitive chord in my view. But to her, she didn't mean to hurt me like that. And the thing that helps maybe in our relationship is that so she's Japanese and I'm Belgian. So she grew up in a totally different world and I grew up in a totally different world. And it's not like if two Westerners meet each other, we're kind of, even though we grew up in different countries, we're kind of still attached in many cultural ways. We watch the same movies, maybe listen to the same, often American music or whatever. There's points of reference. But with Japanese people or with my wife, even that's not there, right? It's not a Western culture. They have all their own movies mostly. They have their own music. They have if I play the radio and it's like there's like a radio channel, nostalgie, like nostalgia. It's all old music that most Western people would have heard. But for her, it's just brand new, right? So if you listen to music from the 70s or the 80s or the 60s, for her, she never heard it. She doesn't know what it is. It's all new. So, and then also just normal mannerisms, social etiquette, it's all different. So first couple of years, first couple of dates and then the first year or two is just being very, very patient with each other, trying to figure out what's Japanese, what's your personality, in all relationships, you have to be super patient to make them last, but we had to be extra patient and not get angry if we misunderstood each other, and kind of just, give it time to work through all these misunderstandings. But so the point is that already this taught us to be very calm and tolerant towards each other, because we know we're very different. So this is just an added dimension to it. So when I explain this to her, she will never dismiss, or she already knew from the beginning, and I explained from the beginning, but still there's aspects that we're continuously explaining or discovering also in this in this realm of the vision problem. But that also keeps it interesting, and so it's fun in a way. The cultural difference and this other, well, the vision difference is not that fun for me, but anyways, the difference keeps it interesting. Yeah, so basically I just want to share this anecdote because I feel many strabismics also, there are moments in their life that they really feel like they're alone. They're alone in this experience, and even their loved ones, they don't really understand them, and that makes it extra isolating. And with my wife, this works well, and I'm very lucky to have met her, and yeah, definitely she's the person for me forever. But there's also even friends, very good friends, that you thought they really were your good friend, and you thought they understood, and they even, in my case, helped me organize some events and followed my strabismus work, and were the most supportive friend ever. And then later you realize, yeah, they're also not living in your reality. So even though they went through all the motions, and they maybe followed your stuff and they read the thing, they don't feel the experience. So then they still assume you're like them because you look kind of like them, right? And then, yeah, with my wife, I live in the same house together, so it's easy. She can observe me and see how it is. But with a friend, yeah, that you don't live together, so it's easier to assume, for them to assume you're like them, and then you get disappointed in them, and they're disappointed in you in some way, and then maybe you kind of, it falls apart a little by little. But yeah, the expectations were too high, I suppose, and on both sides, and all these things, right? You have to manage all these aspects. So with friends, it's better to, yeah, have low expectations both ways. And to find friends, like in my case, I found many strabismic friends now with whom it's easier to share these experiences, and you can share this vision journey and this vision disability, and they have other aspects in their life that are also maybe similar to yours or interesting. So, but this is like a grand foundation that you have together, and so that's why it's fun for me to organize these strabismic patient meetups, because everyone's so excited to meet each other because we're similar in this way. And in daily life, you can never really talk about this topic, and it's hard to find people like you. And even if you found like a strabismic in the wild, let's say, yeah, not everyone has this maybe problematic experience of strabismus, and yeah, or it's not easy to approach the subject, right? Some people are not ready to talk about it. So anyway, but I wanted to share this in a late night video, because tomorrow I will forget all the nuances of the things I wanted to say and the things I feel right now. And now I'm gonna log off and go to bed. So if this resonates with you, leave a comment. But I think it will with some of you. Like, I think it's a common problem. Thank you and good night, and see you next time.